The track plan is quite simple, but I think when you think about if I've got 5 or 6 trains and what I want them to do in terms of load and so on, then yeah, I think there's more than enough to do here, yeah. I always wanted figures on the layout, obviously, but I like this idea of little cameos, because a lot of layouts you see there's too much in one place and there's nothing in another. But if you go for this, as I say, little cameo idea, it seems to work. It's quite convincing. My name's Bob Horden, and this is my 7mm layout, Kirtley Bridge. It's not a real place, but it's very much like MC or Kirtley Bridge, which are stations that were once here in the Dales. There's lots of products on the market that you can use, but it's finding the right one, and some are better than others. I've tried rippled perspex for the flat water, for the mill pond, and I've tried mixes of various some things that you would boil up and pour, some which are resins that set as soon as the air gets to them, and I think I've got a nice mix now. Because I was a geography and geology teacher, sitting by the river, if you like, you're aware of things like rocks and the way water moves, so it would be sort of nice to try and have the riverbed built before you actually put the river in on top of it. It's about 5 years' work here, and it went slowly to start with, but then when I retired a couple of years ago, it's gone much faster now. I've got a range of locos. They are all what would have been ex-Midland Railway, and because my layout is supposedly in the 1930s, everything is now rebranded LMS. So that's the sort of things that I've got. I've got passenger stock, I've got goods stock, and I've got a private owner little quarry train that comes out as well. It's not a real place, but it's very much like MC or Kirtley Bridge, which are stations that were once here in the Dales. I think knowing the scenery that I wanted, and then organising the baseboards to fit both the railway and the scenery. So I had to think about which bits would be cut out and which bits would be flat and solid, and that was quite difficult. A lot of planning in the first year or so, I think. Yeah, virtually everything in terms of buildings is scratch built. Rolling stock is kit built. The one thing I've not really ventured into is building locos for myself. I think that's quite hard, but I might get round to that. The 6 boards really, if you like, the village is the first one, and I've got scenes like a churchyard and a chapel and things like that. Then I've got the station area, then I've got the, if you like, the area with the water in it, then I've got the mill, then we've got the viaduct across the stream, and finally we've got the quarry at the far end. And the quarry at the far end hides the fiddle yard where all the locos and things are coming from. Going up to 7mm, I think, in O gauge, I think the thing for that really was that I could put more detail into it. And I suppose as my eyesight got worse, it might be easier to do, although people say it's not the same. I also would like to have captured different bits of the scenery around here. So I've got some limestone, I've got some millstone grit, and I've got different activities along the layout. So it's actually poplar bark. We had a very large poplar in the garden that needed to come down, and I thought, so I put all that away and dried it for a year, and it's turned out to be quite good. I like it. I think it's quite convincing. All I would say is that I like the idea that my layout is in almost 6 little pieces, and there's a transition down both in the sort of scenery, the sort of buildings, and what actually goes on. and that was very much in my mind when I designed it. The lucky thing for me was that I found a back scene at the back of the layout that really fits it, and not many people can sort of find the one they want. I bought it from an old layout and I never used it, but it's the perfect thing now.